Chucky.
Go ahead. Okay, yo, welcome, everybody, to episode 5 of A Coming of Age, the podcast. Frankie, we've put a few in our rear view, dude.
Yes, man, that's how it is. We just gotta get the hustle on.
And again, I am your humble host, Azam, and I'm here with, and of course, I'm here with my main man, my right-hand man, Frank.
Frankness, what's happening?
And we have joining us again,
Chef Wong.
Are you still on IG?
Hey man, I got no work tomorrow, so I'm here.
I swear, every time you talk,
Yeah, he's like the Marshawn Lynch of fucking podcast.
Yeah.
I'm here because I don't want to get fined.
Boss. Everything's good, boss. Everything's good, boss. Yo, episode 5. That means we got a few in the can. I appreciate. I mean, at this point, I hope we have some listeners and people listening, and we appreciate you guys listening. And again, we have an email up, and if you guys have any comments or any questions or anything, good, bad, or indifferent, you can hit us up at Coming of Age.
Every time you mess it up.
A Coming of Age, and I made it up too. A Coming of Age .thepodcast@gmail.com. And yeah, I mean, Frankie, what do you think, man? We got five down.
Yo, it's sick. You know what? The thing that's dope about these convos is there's no script, no nothing. This is just everyday stuff that, you know, people thought of at some point in time, and it's just a conversation, right? We got a good vibe. We're talking, we're chilling, we're laughing. Yeah, it's not too serious, but you know, it's some enlightening stuff for sure.
Yeah, we got a special one for you guys here today. Something that
we do.
I mean, every week we do something that everybody can relate to. I think.
Absolutely.
I think we do. And this week, I think, is something that maybe the older cats. Who knows?
No, I think this is for everybody, man.
Everybody. And it's a circle talk, Frankie. What we want to?
Let's officially tag this week as how small is your clique? Let me just say that again. How small is your clique?
Right.
CLICK. Just to make sure that all the man-dem out there don't get worried about this podcast. Yeah, man. How small is your clique? So it's exactly self-explanatory what it sounds like. I feel like, can I kick it off?
Yeah, of course, dude.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
It's very simple. Just as we get older, your circle of friends, like your close friends who you actually rely on and talk to, just gets smaller and smaller. And I feel like there's so many things that can be attributed to that common trend. Unless you're like a celebrity and, you know, you're getting just millions of followers, or people who are just trying to, you know, kiss your ass all the time. But I'm talking about like a typical human being. When you go from your high school to college, university to real life, your circle just gets tighter and tighter. And I think this episode, we're just going to discuss why that is. And to be honest, I kind of want Wong to kick this one off. The actual, like, in-depth, like, hit us with something about your clique.
Okay, first of all, the man said he's gonna kick it off, and then just pass it off to me quick. I don't know what's up with that, but okay. But yeah, sure. Growing up in high school, I guess that's where you kind of find who you are as a person.
Or start to, yeah.
Yeah, like, and you know what? Coming to a place in Durham region, east of Scarborough.
So for people who don't know where that is or whatever, like how would you describe that area or whatever?
Well, when I first moved to Ajax, which
like east of Toronto, right?
East of Scarborough.
East of Scarborough.
East of Scarborough.
Yes, specifically east of Scarborough. Yo, one mans won't know that, eh? These
No,
guys are
I mean,
too
if we
rich
have
up here
people
with the new
listening,
hospital.
from
Get
the
out of
States or any parts of the thing, they might not know when you imply. I know what you mean when you imply what you're about to
Well,
say.
let's put it this
Yeah.
way: if anyone asks me, if I'm out of the country and ask me where I'm coming from, I'm saying Toronto. I ain't gonna say
Yes.
Ajax
like-
because they're gonna remember where thing.
Yo,
Who-
45.
What? Who's from Ajax? Slum 41. You remember that group? Yeah, it's the only thing that came out of Ajax.
Are you really?
Yeah,
man.
Ajax
Wow, I
High,
didn't
man.
know that.
Yeah, man.
Only person I thought that came out of Ajax was the boxer guy. Bad
Oh,
Boy.
and don't mistake Durham for
Bringing up Bad Boy.
don't mistake Durham for the city. This is Durham region, not Durham town of Durham. There's actually a town called Durham.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's in North Carolina.
No, it's in
Oh,
Canada.
It's a
It's
city
in
in
Ontario. Anyways, continue.
okay. Go ahead. Sorry, dude.
All right, yeah. So I came here, or Ajax 87, I believe. And me, my brother, my two cousins were the only black people in that school,
Yeah.
public school.
Came from Jamaica.
No,
Oh.
from Scarborough.
Oh,
Like,
sorry.
we migrated to East. I didn't even know about.
So pretty much you went from like maybe like I hate the word urban, but like urban center, multicultural-ish,
Yeah.
more to a place that was not.
Correct.
Yeah.
Anywho, so yeah, you find yourself in high school. Like how I grew up, I had different groups. Of course, I had my black friends because you discover more of your race, so you kind of chill with them. You
Right.
find who you are. I would say I had my, I guess, quote unquote nerdy friends, and those are my video game friends. Yeah, like we literally just played video games. And then I had like my sports friends as well, which was some of my black friends. And then I played extracurricular, like out of school sports as well. So I kind of clicked with them as well. So growing up in high school, like everybody, how do you become popular? You either do something, or you hang with a certain amount of people, or you hang with a popular
Yeah,
person.
like
so
a
you
girlfriend, like if you have girlfriends. or
yeah,
something like that.
exactly.
Yeah, sure.
And everybody wants a big
Or boyfriends.
clique in high school. Back in the day, I don't know how it is now. 'Cause y'all,
Right.
y'all teenagers are crazy now. You don't even need friends in front of you. You have online and all that. So yeah, this is a different topic.
Virtual friends.
But yeah, in high school you want to have friends with everybody. That's how it was. And I was the quiet guy in high school, so I didn't really talk to many people. But I still had a decent amount of friends. I went to after parties, like backyard parties as well. So you met people there as well. Whatever.
So like pretty much whoever you found common ground with, those were like
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, looking at myself now, my circle, and this is not including family, I couldn't say it's more than 10 people.
Yeah, sure.
And why is that? As DJ Khaled said, no new friends. You don't need no new friends. And why do I keep that? Because it's just like, man, you gotta, like, you guys in front of me, I had to build my trust with you guys. Like, we went through Best Buy for many years. We hung out with each other.
Yeah.
I know, for me, I don't care. From I see you from day one, I am judging you. I don't care what you say. I judge you from the first thing that comes out your mouth or the first thing you do. I'd be like, this guy's an idiot.
Yeah.
Or, all right, this guy's cool. We either click on sports, we click on video games or whatever. Perfect example, how did me Azam came to our store, migrated to our store. Man was super quiet. I didn't want to talk to him too much. And how do we get today? There was Mac computers across from our department, and we were watching sports clips the whole time. And Malice in the Palace,
Yo.
the fight when we
Bonded
watched
us
that.
for
Oh
life.
my god, that bonded me and Azam. I'm like, all right, I know this guy. I
Sliding
know what he's about. Oh man, pure belly bust that day, man. Pure belly bust.
Yo, I remember the first time I met you was, or like the first memory I have is like me being in. So what we used to do is we used to work at Best Buy, and we worked in the car audio section. I was a technician. Marlon was on the floor. So Marlon was essentially the senior manager guy on the floor. I was the senior guy in the back. So we had a sink in the back, and like probably maybe 2 days in, second day or third day there. Like that sink is usually just for, the technicians, at least from my knowing of using of the sink in bays. And Marlon comes in and he's brushing his teeth. He's brushing his teeth in the sink and customers there, cars are there. I'm like, yo. And I look over to my other technician, who's another friend of ours, Scott, and I go, yo, this man's allowed to brush his teeth. He's like, and then Scott must have said something like, oh yeah, but that's Marlon, you know, whatever. And I was like, how could this man just be brushing his teeth at work? Like it's like shift on shift, you know what I mean?
Not even in the washer.
Yeah, not even in the washer. Right here. Anyway, Chef, sorry. Go on.
Yeah, so definitely you gotta have some type of bond or some type of sense in you, like how I guess would earn my trust for you to call me or to at least hang with you or even have a conversation. Because, if you're talking foolishness or see you do dumb thing, I'm not even going to bother to give you my attention.
So you just don't want to waste your time.
Exactly. Pretty much. Foolish. And the same thing, like, okay, so how me and Frank kind of clicked. I'm not going to lie. When I first worked at Best Buy, I did not like Frank.
I'm not going to lie. But you hear I'm not going to lie. So I'm
I was waiting for him to finish talking because I was definitely going to say some shit.
Frank would just nonstop talk at Best Buy. And I'm just like, yo, shut up. And that's how I was. And that's how I am as a person. How did me and Frank click? There was one night
It took you that long?
It was long. Like
that was a long time.
Yo, me and Chef connected quick. Remember, not even just Malice in the Palace. It was like the first day there. I was like, we were running
about you anymore.
Hold on. Let me get this memory off.
Shut up.
Remember we watched it? No, hold on. Remember we watched the Canadian Destroyer?
Oh man, yo, trust me.
Wrestling, man's broken neck and like pile driver and stuff. Yo, I was like, yo, this man's dead. Yo, Chef was dying on the ground. And that was it. But I think guys are like, I mean, I want you to get back to what you were saying, but I think guys are so easy like that.
It's true.
Like in a lot of ways, like it could have been someone else falling on the floor, and maybe like I wouldn't have been tight with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, but when we talked and we like connected, that's like a forever thing. You know? I don't know. Like, I feel like guys are different like that. Anyway, go on.
So me and Frank, I don't know. Like
one night.
I don't even know how we actually like decided to go, but me and him decided to go to Parkdale, which is a club downtown.
Drinks.
And it was just me and him. And
I've always wanted to go to Parkdale.
It was good times back in the day, man.
Every time you guys would be on a
$5 to get in, $5 are free to get in.
Shout out to Laura and Courtney for always giving us.
Oh man, trust me.
So that was was it a club or a lounge or both or what?
Yeah, it was a restaurant / lounge / club.
Does it exist right now?
I don't know because
I think it's closed down.
I walked
now.
by a few times and it's boarded up, but I never saw like a closed
boarded.
sign.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Yeah. Anywho, yeah. So I don't know how me and Frank decided to go down there, but we just did. Me and him alone. And well, actually, it was actually Laura that told us to come by. She's been telling me to come by because she's like, they play hip hop and reggae, and she was the bartender. I'm like, all right, let's go check it out. We get there, it's me and him. Yo,
so at work at this point, you guys aren't like going to lunch and stuff like that.
We're passerbyers because every time I walk by Car-Fi, I don't think I can actually count any times I saw Marlon smiling or have a look on his face. So just how he says he didn't like me because I talk so much. That's because whenever I talk with him, which is usually when I'm talking with, like Damien might be in the vicinity.
Yeah.
Like, man was just forever grilling. Like, I thought that was his permanent face. So
right.
you get nervous. So you're talking. I'm like, yo, I'm scared of this man, right?
Man, fear. Yo, Chef, you going around putting fear in man's heart.
Nah, man, not me. I didn't say shit to him.
Exactly. You ever been in a room with someone who ain't say nothing to you?
That's his point, I think.
Anyways, what album?
Yeah, so we finally reached this club. We didn't. Okay, so number one, we paid $5 to get in. 2, there was coat check. They're just like, yo, give us your jacket. We'll hold it behind the bar. 3, yo, we just got lit with drinks all night. Like did we even pay anything that night? I don't even think we paid anything that night.
Guy, I came home with more money.
Yeah, trust me. Like, it was so weird. But, yo, we got so hammered. Like, I'm not going to lie, I shouldn't even drove home that night. Like, I was, like, super drunk. And, yo.
And that was driving from Toronto to Ajax days. Like, that wasn't a short drive. That was a 45-minute drive.
And that's it. That was like the connecting
me and Frank were, dancing up a storm in the place, freaking girls trying to chop us.
And that's when Kanye dropped his album,
Boo.
Dark Fantasy.
Yeah, and we were just
Yeah,
pelting run
we're
away.
playing that and we're singing that. Oh man, it was crazy. But yeah, that's how pretty much all me and Frank clicked together. That one night at the club.
I think that's fascinating how some bonds, like, you know how people say, oh, I grew up with this kid, or this person was always there for me in my down times. Sometimes you just like get close to people just from like strippiness, you know, just from a natural good vibe.
It's you know, like people use the word kismet, but they kind of use it in a romantic sense. But I think the same thing happens with friendships, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think the same thing happens. Again, like I said, me and it could have been Chef with someone else watching the same videos or whatever it was. But you know, like there might not have been a further conversation about, or like, you know, another meetup or another, you know, something else. You know what I'm saying? But
so like in relation to that though, I feel like at this age now, like being 32, I value my smaller group of friends who know me, who I know that I can depend on, or when we go out, there ain't no dramas, no problems. That's why I don't look to have new friends to try to feel out or impress or what have you, or be disappointed. Like I'm very much happy with the relationships I've built to this day, right? Now, don't get me wrong, if someone new comes around and, you know, they have a good vibe and they want to chill, you know, yeah, for sure, I'll say what up and, you know, grab drinks, whatever. But I used to seek that quite a bit.
oh wow,
You know what I mean? Like I very much wanted to be liked. I didn't like it when people didn't like me.
oh I see.
And so then I would put
Like in
effort.
school or like anywhere, and any
I think it started more so
circumstance?
in university and carried on after that. That's when I found myself, who my personality was, and I like to have jokes, like to feel like I'm wanted, right? So if I felt like somebody didn't like me, I would try to make an effort to turn that around and find out why they did it. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
But now I'm at the point where someone doesn't like me, I'm literally just like, okay.
You think that's like an insecurity thing?
When I was younger, 1000%. When I was younger, 1000%, right? But what do you think? Do you think there are any downsides of holding your cards so close to your chest, if I were to call it that way?
Yeah, I think I feel like I kind of did that. Like I was the one like in middle school, high school, where like friends or people would call the house and literally I would tell them, like, be right beside my mom and be like, tell them I'm not home. Like, I'm not home.
Yeah.
And like it happened for the longest time, and it wasn't until like I probably was like early 20s where I consciously said to myself one time, and I think I was going through more like a religious kind of maybe a self-awakening period.
Mm-hmm.
I was going through that, and I made it. I made almost a promise to myself to be like, you know what, I'm gonna make an effort going forward with not only the people who I've were friends with in the past, but anyone who I meet up in the future. I'm gonna be more outwardly. I feel like I always had the reputation of like I feel like even when you say I was quiet or whatever, I feel like I was so like loud sometimes.
Well, why did you think there was a need for you to have that, like that?
You know what?
to
I
make that
just
vow
I
to
just looked at
yourself?
life more differently, like in the sense of like life is so much about relationships and friendships more than it is like, I don't know, not just like private time or like, hey, I just want to talk to anybody or kind of thing. But I wasn't like, I don't want to talk to anybody. Just I literally didn't want, like, I don't know.
Literally didn't want to talk to you.
Yeah. Yeah, like, but not in a mean way. Like literally, like, no, I don't want to talk right now. But it became such a common theme, or like, literally, like, I almost wonder if the mystique or popularity grew because you're like, oh, this guy's always busy. Does it make sense? Like,
Yeah.
who's an eighth grader, ninth grader? This guy's always busy. You can't catch this guy. No one's answering.
So
the
what
phone.
do you think? How do you think? Because now,
Yeah.
I can't even say young people, even people our age. Now you're going to the digital frontier where it's almost the complete opposite. You want, like, people seek those
That's too much. Yeah.
big groups of likes and retweets.
Virtual friends. Like,
and,
virtual friends.
You know, so how do you think that plays in? Because like I'm for sure, like, so I'm sure that there are people who still have their small cliques, but online they have, like, they want their thousands of followers or likes or comments.
I feel like that's like I can't even relate to that. I don't even know what to say. To me, yeah,
that's exactly what I said. Like, high school for us was people who were in front of you, compared to high school people now. That it's
sure.
You don't have the people if they're not there. You can have people all around you online, and it's a hell of a lot different.
So what do you think is going to happen to those kids when they get older?
Yeah, and that's the thing, but that's the other thing that people are like saying social media is so bad now because people are like literally almost killing themselves because they lost friends or they're murdering that person because they unfollowed them and stuff.
Or they
like
put it back comments or some shit. Whatever. Yeah,
and I'm not gonna like. Obviously, it's some people are tougher than thing, but I find it being very soft. Like,
so you think? I agree with you.
Like, if there's really 5 people that don't want to talk to me, I'm all about that. Like, whatever. Like,
do you think that's because of your level of confidence or your maturity, or you simply don't care?
Maturity for sure, but even throughout my life, I don't really care. Like growing up, yes, I did care about that, but I didn't like want to go fight that person. You know how girls are, like even females, like, oh, like why this bitch stop following me? Yo, I'm gonna go cut her. Like why? Like it's very unnecessary.
Hey, if you didn't listen to the needs and wants of men versus women, last episode, check it out.
Oh God, episode 4. But yeah, it's a different age. Like this whole social media thing is definitely a mental thing too.
I think it's a huge hindrance on society.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, there's definitely pros and cons, don't get me wrong. Sorry, pros. But I think for personal growth and actual relationship connections, because you can tie this into, of course, like Tinder and all this stuff, but that's a completely different subject. But it's definitely hindering because now there are people who I can comment and have pure jokes or a DM on Instagram, like, you know, like a joke on a post or something. But when I sit down with them in real life, it's like,
there's nothing to talk about.
Awkward as fuck because I'm just like,
it's quiet.
What's on Instagram?
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean?
But maybe that's the common ground, right? Where you kind of like, where you found common ground with playing video games, sports, all that kind of stuff. Now the common ground is social media. So if you do link up,
that's a good point.
So if you meet up with the guy or the girl or whatever you're talking to about such and such comment about, I don't know, Lizzo. I don't know why I said Lizzo. But like somebody like that. And kind of like when you meet up, you might try, like, there's so many times that I've talked to people all the time, and like I'm fairly good at, like, if I go to the store, I end up talking to whoever's there, and like you talk to people and you realize no one really watches this. Like I'm like, yo, hey, you watch Raptor game? Oh, I don't really follow basketball. Yo, you watch football? That happened to me today. Hey, you watch? Oh, you watch it? Oh, you watch NFL? Oh, I kind of watch it. And he was like, so then what do you do? Like, what do you? So I'm like, and I'm always like, and I'm always like, and I'm always good with it. I'm like, oh, okay, true. So what are you into, man? Like, whatever. What do you think? Oh, and then these guys, they're making up something.
That was one thing, and that's another reason why my friend zone has closed a lot, because even when I was growing up, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of embarrassed. Like, everybody had careers, so they had a family going on, and like I'll go to parties and stuff, and people are like, "Hey, man, like what do you do?" I'm just like I was kind of embarrassed. I'm not gonna lie, I was embarrassed. I work at Best Buy, and it was that thing, right? And to hold a conversation, oh, well, I scan products and I yell at people who try to steal stuff. That's what my job is. They're like, oh, I'm an engineer, or I like.
I just came back from so and so.
I was embarrassed to try to hold a conversation in person, and like
you felt inferior, or just like you weren't.
That honestly,
it was. I definitely feel inferior, and like it was almost embarrassing because like I had previous girlfriends that actually had like better jobs, or they're in school. Like I wasn't even in school, so I can't even say like, oh yeah, I'm just trying to finish up my school and stuff like that, right?
That's what happens today, though. Even not even on that front. I feel like even now, like when people are like, oh, I got 2 houses now, and like let's say you don't even have one, and you get caught up because you're like, well, what am I doing wrong? It's like, we're not necessarily doing anything wrong. You just have different timelines for your different plan, right?
Yeah.
But I can definitely, like, I know what you mean. Like, you can feel kind of shitty when someone's like, oh, I got this, and you're like,
yeah, exactly.
I'm not there yet, right? It
so
burns.
That was one reason. Like, I'm not saying I closed them off, but I didn't really want to hold a conversation, and like, it was exactly what Azam said too. Yo, you watch sports? No. Do you play this game? No. Yo, right there. If you don't have anything, you're locked off. I don't care. I'm not trying
No,
to
but
connect
I
with
find generally like a lot of like guys, anyways. When you're married, you probably don't talk to as much women as you used to when you're single, obviously. So you go somewhere, you meet like you see a guy or like a guy's.
That was a good disclaimer right there.
Yeah, right. No, but it's true. Like you end up meeting a guy at like the gas station. You guys are thinking like someone goes, "Yo, did you see that thing?" And then you start a little conversation about it. It's almost like it doesn't happen as much as I feel like it used to. I don't know.
You know what? People still get surprised when this is actually on the phone. If I call to a company, like whatever, and they're like, "Hi, so and so speaking." I'm like, "Hey, how's it going?" They're like,
yeah, we talked about this before.
Good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like no one ever asks anybody how they're doing anymore. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but here's a question. So, having a smaller clique is good and all because you feel more connected with your people. That's who they are. Fine. Do you think it can ever hinder your progress or growth? Because now, if you think about it, you're limiting your connections to, let's say, 10 people, whereas you became who you are because of the hundreds of people who you've brought up with and interacted with, right? So do you think you're missing out on anything if by not letting, by not expanding? Do you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm phrasing it properly.
No, sure. I sometimes wonder if the younger me did. Not so much now.
Not now, okay.
I feel like the younger me did. I feel like the younger me I was so into just doing, again, like how
tell
you
your
say,
mom, tell people you're not home.
Yeah, that, and like also like if I didn't want to go out with such and such person, I just would not, like I wouldn't go, or like I would go under, everything would always be under my terms, but not in a weird mean way. It'd just be like, oh, your man's reaching, I don't know.
You did things where you wanted.
Yeah. Like I'm not, and I was such a cool with being a homebody. Like, you know what I mean? Like I was like so cool with that. And then I maybe looked at things as a special. You know what? I was oddly enough looking at things like special. So I would look at like going out was special. It was an occasion. Like it wasn't like an every week thing where a lot of the friends who I had around me were doing it all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like certain birthdays for people or something. That was, to me, I viewed it as special. Yeah. And like, but I do look at it and be like, you know what? I feel like I've gone the opposite way where I've opened up myself maybe more to allow others,
older,
like people who were there, and they like the way I speak and the way I probably welcome people in. Before time, it's almost like I'd welcome you in and then be like, then shut you out, kind of thing, or like, but again, not in a mean way.
No, I know what you mean.
You know what I'm trying to say?
You just wouldn't thrive to get a deeper connection with someone.
Yeah, I wouldn't
like you just didn't want
something simple like calling people back. Like I was so much known for like, I would never call you back. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I found myself getting. I used to be the type where, like you guys can let me know how you guys are, but if I get a text, like I used to be like respond right away. If I get a phone call, if I miss it, I'm calling right back, et cetera, et cetera. I found myself in the past, as recently, just like 6 months, when texts come through, I actually, like, I take a while to respond now. Unless it's someone who's, even actually some of my close people. Yeah. Like, I still take a while just because either I'm just busy and it's not as big as a priority to be as available, right? Right. I don't know if that even ties into the size of my clique or my friends, whatever it is.
But I think that has something to do with like when
I'm not as set to please people as much. And I think maybe that has something to do with your size of your crew becoming smaller because you're not trying to impress. You know what I mean? No? Yeah.
Yeah, I could see. You
have a troubled face.
No, I can see. I you know why? Because I'm thinking like, again, I've had these thoughts about myself before about like, again, like, where I think you grow and you get married and you have a kid, and then what happens is like just the natural occurrence of things. Your friends who are still single, your friends who are still not married, your friends who still don't have kids, you just end up growing apart a bit. Yeah, you just do. Yeah. It just naturally happens.
Different priorities, different things. Yeah. You're going to a bar, they're going to I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. Show. And you're not getting that invitation anymore, right? There's a point where you're not going to get that invitation anymore. There's a point where like only so many times you could be like, oh no, I'm with my son, I'm with my kid, I'm doing this. You're not going to get an invitation anymore. And I remember being on the other end of that, be like, yo, why you invite this man? This man not reaching. You know what I mean? Like, yo, this man not gonna reach you. Why you even inviting this man to come reach you? You know what I mean? But
it's a courtesy.
Yeah, but
courtesy.
now but see, as thoughtful and as conscious of those things as I would probably back then have proclaimed I was, I'm way more that way now.
Okay.
Sorry, I am that way now. Like, where I'd be like, I know Frank can probably reach this Saturday because he's going to like like, I don't know, St. Vincent or something like that. But I more times would be like, hey man, I'm still doing something. You know what I mean? I would still lay it out there now.
Yeah.
Back then, nah, I just wouldn't. I would not do it. So it's almost like I've gone maybe the opposite way. And I think the natural occurrence of having kids, a family, a house, maybe your own thing, and carving out your own thing within your own family, for me anyway, has opened me up to kind of be like, hey, I'm gonna stay in contact with so and so person. I make it a duty to be like, hit up certain people, a lot of people, just, hey, what's up, man? How's everything going? How's school? Hey man, how's everything going? How's work? How's the wife? How's the, that touch base.
So would you guys say that your cliques, like you said, Wong, you said less than 10 or 10 or was that a real number?
What do we
Did you
define
say-
as
who
that?
said
Like,
10?
what do you
Who
mean by,
said
like,
10?
even when we say the clique and circle, like, mans you can, like, trust kind of thing? Like, mans you can rely on if something went wrong to be there? Like, like, how are we kind of defining that too? Because there's a bunch of, there's like, we all have circles
I would
of friends
say
we go
it's
to
for me, it's probably my circle of friends who I interact with on a weekly basis.
or
Got it.
monthly basis.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
we have our room where we talk to each other like almost every day. So there's 5 of us, 6 of us in that room. So
Yeah, like, for me, like, even if I get older and you guys aren't part of my life, I'll be like, what the hell happened? You know what I mean?
Yo, you didn't come somewhere frank, huh?
Yeah, but even that, like, it's still ripped on, even within like a day. That could happen daily. You know what I'm saying? That talk and that chat.
I agree with
happens
Marlon.
now,
It's my people who I speak to at least once a month because we are busy. So there's some close
Yeah, sure.
friends who, like, honestly,
Life gets
will
a hold of
remember,
you
like,
too,
yo,
man.
what's going
Yeah,
on, right?
sure.
But yeah, I'd say, like, I can probably count it down to, I don't know, 15 people maybe,
yeah,
give or take, right? That's not including family, of course.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think maybe I'm in that
And like
range.
I think the last people I would consider friends was people I went to school with, because we keep in touch. We try to get together a couple times to make some food and stuff like that, or go out. Even as of today, one of my first person I met in school, he just asked me, he's like, yo man, let's go meet up for a rap game. And it's like, yo, I'm down, man, just let me know. Like, he's usually like up in Muskoka and all over the world,
Oh, damn. Okay.
but he's a big Eagles fan, and me and him talk football every season, basketball thing. Like, I probably haven't seen him for like maybe almost a year now. But yeah,
physically seen him.
yeah, but
yeah.
we talk, man, and I consider him a good friend that I met in school. And there's like maybe about 4 others that from school I'd say we're pretty close, right?
I wonder if you would actually have a stronger connection with, like, your brethren. You just said you talk to more than someone local who you see more, because you're literally, like, what's more of a connection than talking other than, you know what I mean? There's no distractions. You're talking to this one
I think
person.
you click with people. You click with people. You know what I mean?
What do you think?
He's yawning.
Yo, man, I'm usually in bed, man. What are you talking about? Or I'm actually working right now.
This guy was like, yo, I don't work tomorrow. All of a sudden,
I don't know. Again, like, I feel like I've gone the opposite way, where, like, I've opened my arms out more and, like, am more welcoming to.
you think it's because you have kids?
I don't know if it was because I started it before even I got married.
Oh, okay.
It was like, literally, I said to myself, you know what? Like, I'm gonna.
Yeah, let me stop being a screw face.
No, not even screw face, but like, I don't know if, like, if I was someone else looking at me, I'd be like, wow, this guy's like really talkative, or very like I remember getting voted like most
You're
flirtatious.
charismatic. You're charismatic.
I have something, I think, but I also was like, hey, come in, door shut, you know what I mean? Like, hey, come right in, door closed, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like, I'm not talking to you till 2:00 in the morning. I'm not talking to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna go watch, and it's because I liked so many things, So like,
I think I got to get to that stage because I actually found no, seriously,
Yeah.
I found myself being more negative lately.
ah,
But my work is also it's a toxic environment, but I found myself being more just, I don't have nearly as much patience for just, not even stupid people, just people like,
but you know,
I'm quick to judge. You know
but you know
what
what
I mean?
happens through time too is like when you might think that these guys, like guys or girls, are in your circle of friends and stuff, but
They drop off.
you have like a life event happen, and like these people aren't there, or you kind of see that you're not talking to these people as much as you can, and it's almost on their end where they're faulting you, like, yo, this guy doesn't link me, this guy doesn't think, this guy doesn't. Like I remember for me, like when my son was born, he had sleep apnea, so we didn't realize that till I think about 9 months in. And if anybody's out there who has a kid with sleep apnea, God bless you, because you're not sleeping for like maybe you're getting 2 hours of sleep every night. And I'm not saying that to be funny. Like literally, you're getting in and out sleep. You don't sleep well, and then what'll happen is like you miss people's birthdays, and you'll miss like events. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You'll miss people's like things happening. You were gonna say soft?
No.
Okay, some friend.
I was definitely gonna say
No,
that.
but I've lost like close family members who I used to talk to, and like we used to go out and stuff like that because at least what I heard,
You have to tend to your business.
No, but they couldn't understand that. All they hear is you're not coming, right? All they hear is so that circle then does become, I guess, I mean, in a way now, I think when I'm verbalizing this all, I do realize that maybe it did get tighter than I maybe.
This guy just had an epiphany on the show.
Maybe it does get tighter than you think, because again, these things happen when somebody doesn't kind of understand you. You kind of lose that common ground.
Yep. Well, one thing that actually recently happened was one of my close best friends was, I called him out on it, right? Because I was out with a former best friend of his, actually.
Okay.
And we've been hanging out more just because he calls me. He's still in the partying stage, and I come out to Toronto, blah blah blah. And long story short, the guy got vexed. He's like, "Oh, how come I wasn't invited?" I told him straight up, I'm like, "It's because you don't come out, man."
Oh, you mentioned this to me.
Yeah, I'm like, I invite you so many times. You don't come out. You always have an excuse. And going back, as men, we were able to like discuss it right there and squash right there. And we just got back down to it. He was like, "All right, you're right. I'll try to be more available and just promise me that you'll start inviting me." I'm like, "Okay, I could do that." And it's just a quick reconciliation. Sometimes you need a check.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
But I know
Let it be a
myself,
conversation.
I'm quick
At least
to
let it be a
judge someone.
conversation. Yeah.
So, but no. Okay, so how about this then? In your cliques, do you have people who are there by association?
Well, like, what do you mean?
Let's say you have 10 friends,
Yeah. Okay.
and that's your clique, as in, you talk to them monthly, daily, weekly,
Oh yeah.
whatever.
Okay. Sure.
But within that,
Yeah.
there's like 1 or 2 friends who, if they weren't associated with the other 8, you would not talk to them.
I don't know. Off the top of my head, I don't.
I asked that because we're
You
all in
have.
chat groups, for example, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
true.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
Yeah.
It's serious, because that's when you realize, like, is this person really my friend, or are they here because I know,
You know what I
ABC?
do? You know what I do try to do? I try to make all those relationships
Block people?
unique. No, you see, I do the opposite. Because maybe old me would have done that probably. But like me, as of like 15 years now, I'd probably say maybe even a little bit longer. Like I will go out of my way to be like, I talk to each person individually. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
so even the one who you think is associated with, like if we're all in a chat group and there's one guy who like I have real no connection to other than knowing Frank or Wong or whatever, and like I'll find a way to be like, hey man, did you see? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
say something to them. Yeah. So I would say for me, no. For me, no. I would say no. What about you, Chef?
Well, it's like my clique, and that was the other thing with high school, because my cousin Brian,
Killer.
I was in I went to Dennis O'Connor, and he was at Pickering High, and summertime I used to go out to him, and that's how I met Jansen, and that's how I met Russell. you guys haven't met Jigiman, and that's another
I keep
one of
hearing that guy, but I never.
that's another one of Brian's boys that he grew up with, and I grew up with them because I used to go to Pickering High
Yeah.
sometimes, or go to jams with them, and that's how I was part of that clique. So
So Brian was
you
your
in.
cousin, right?
yeah, Brian's my
Brian's
cousin.
cousin, yeah.
So yeah, that's how I met Jansen through him. That's how I met Jigs. That's how I met Russell, because I used to play basketball summertime against Russell, and like me and him used to D up on each other all the time. And
Pause.
that's and that's how.
I was waiting for him to say pause, but
But that was yeah, that's how I got associated with them.
But guys, you know, I go back to it. I feel like it's a gender thing. Guys are like that. I feel like guys will be friends with guys.
I think girls are a little bit more protective.
Oh,
I
super. And
agree.
like,
Guys just want a guy to have a drink with.
no, but like, we all have friends. Like, you just gave a story about a friend that you've been friends with since, what, elementary?
High school.
High school.
Yeah.
Marlon's talking about a buddy who he's been friends with, the first, like your
High
first
school
friend.
then, I think.
I just met a friend of mine today who I've seen him a few times because he works at a local restaurant around here. And I saw him, and every time we talk, it's like we met in grade 4.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, that's when we met in grade 4. And I feel like girls, like I can tell just even from like the women in my life, when they talk with people who pop up out of nowhere, or they meet in the mall, they be walking or something like that. That conversation is not the same way that like a guy conversation. I feel like at least even in my conversations, can be maybe a little bit outlandish. They'll be like, "Yo, oh man, yo, what's going on?" You know what I mean? Like, not to that level, but like, usually guys can still connect in common ground. I think find common ground. I feel like women don't do that. They don't have a lot of friends that I think.
I can neither confirm nor deny any of those allegations.
Yeah, give me something. What do you mean?
I don't know. I think. Actually, I don't know. Right? I've never been a fly on the wall when two girls met. Actually, well, there have been times where like my girl will find someone in the mall, like another girl.
No, but
I could tell the conversation is just awkward because it's just.
But like
I don't know,
girls,
maybe
you know, like
relates to-
no, but like girls will try. Like, we go back to high school times. There's always packs of girls. I felt like always these packs of girls, and like if you fast forward to now, at least the girl groups that I know of that still exist, they are not even groups. They don't even talk. They don't. You know what I mean? They have no communication with each other. Like, I've met some people individually, and be like, "Oh, yo, how's so and so? Oh, yeah,
Well,
you
that's
still
because
talk?"
it comes down to, I guess they hold grudges. Like if they had some kind of beef, altercation,
I
know,
just feel
or
like
if a girl just like didn't talk to them for a week, they're like, they're not my friend anymore, and that's that. Whereas
wonder
guys, you
if,
can go
like, guys-
years without seeing each other.
Yeah, but like we hold on to things like Batman being your favorite superhero when you're a kid, or like Superman, or like watching wrestling as a kid. You still can kind of connect it. Like, I don't know if women have the same thing. I don't know if they have the same common ground where you connected based on this thing, and that thing still exists.
Yeah, but what are they
And you
going to
still
talk
talk
about?
That's what I'm trying to say. Gem, Barbie, Sheila.
You remember that Ken we had when we were kids?
Yeah, remember that? Yeah, like, remember.
But that's the maturity too, because the guys will get together. We'll talk about like
you'll talk about
Pogs.
it still. Yeah, you still talk about it. That's what I'm trying to say.
or
You'll
certain mans in this room who talk about WWE or
all
F
day.
whatever.
Me and
as if
Chef
it's-
were just talking.
as
We were
if
just
it's real.
ripping something. Like, but that's common.
That
That's
shit's
every
life,
day.
yo.
That's
life.
life.
Well, you guys know it's not real fighting.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, that's not even. That's a whole. That debate
Yeah, I
doesn't
know.
even.
That's
describe that.
Wong isn't even saying anything.
I'm not even gonna bother getting into this right now.
He's going back to Best Buy days. He doesn't like me.
Wait,
No, I hear you. I know exactly what you mean with regards to, it's, I don't know. I think it's just the makeup, male, female makeup are just different, right? But moral of the story is, I think it's general consensus. Your circle of friends just get smaller for
What's a deal breaker? Like, what's a deal breaker? Like, at this point
With
in our
what?
life,
being
like, so
someone.
we're all friends. What would be a deal breaker for somebody not to be like?
Your friend anymore?
Yeah, like, or in that circle part. Because to me, when I think about circle, I think of like someone you can trust. Be like, I can maybe call Chef and be like, "Yo, man, this shit's been gone left. Let me run this shit by you." Like, what could be a deal breaker? Like, lie?
I think it's
lying. I don't know.
respect. Just general respect for me. Yeah, for me personally, like, you don't even have to be there for me all the time. I know people are busy. So if I call you not available, it's cool. I can call someone else. But all I expect or request is 101. If like as long as we both respect each other and don't disrespect each other, don't cross the line, then we're cool.
But
right?
there's occasions that happen in life where, like, let's say you have a birthday, and you don't invite me or you don't invite someone. I'll be like no matter how, I'll be like, oh, whatever. You still in your back of my mind, like, okay, well. You get married and stuff like that. If you get married or bachelor parties,
there's levels to
like
this shit, right? Like there's certain things that can tick you off,
Shout out to
sure.
Meek Mill.
But I mean, like at the same time, there's things that it's like, a major.
Yeah, but like weddings are a big thing. Like weddings are like, if you don't invite mans or gal to that, you're not talking to that person probably.
Yes, but that's like what I mean. If you don't invite someone from your clique to your
definitive.
wedding, that means that they're probably not a part of your clique, right?
No, but like if you were friends with somebody for a long time, and all of a sudden now, kind of like as you guys mature, maybe you don't talk to you. As you've matured, maybe you're not as deep or close with that person anymore.
Okay,
and
I see what you're saying.
And you still would be talking. If you didn't get married, you'd still be talking every so often, every 6 months, every once a year. Happy New Year's. Don't invite that person to your wedding, and you're never talking to that person ever again. It's gonna be as random as it would get.
Actually, sorry, that happened to me.
Yeah, there you go. See?
Yeah, my old best friend in high school and university got a girl. She didn't like me.
Got her pregnant.
No, she didn't like me. So he actually locked me off after like 14 years of friendship.
Man's move. Yo, listen, any young mans out there, don't move them ways.
So 10 years. 10 years of friendship, best friends, like inseparable. Locked me off.
10 years?
Got married to her. Yeah, got married. And then we started like reconnecting like years down the line before they didn't get married. Sorry. We started reconnecting before they did. He invited me to his Jack and Jill, right? So I came through. I haven't seen him in time, but I came through the money, talked with him, talked with the girl, had a good time. Didn't invite me to the wedding.
Wow.
I was like, yo, how do you invite me to your Jack and Jill and not invite me to the wedding?
Yo, that honestly, there's enough people that have invited me to Jack and Jill's, and I'm like, no wedding. I'm like, why would I come to this?
Right?
I'm like, what? No.
But this was my old best friend, and I thought, I'm like, all right, this is cool. This is a good step. So, even though we had our little beef, I'll be there, right? Like I would not miss that. Even I don't have to be in the groomsmen. Just I'll be in the back in the room. Didn't invite me, and that's when I was just like, okay, I understand. And that's when he just lock off, just like that. Anyways, that's all I got to say about that.
Wow. You know what? I don't know.
What?
I was gonna say something similar happened to me, like where I had a cousin I was so close, like we were so close, like tied to the hip, and then but I feel like that's enough mans move that way. Like they get married and then you don't hear from these guys. Like in an extreme way, like you don't hear from mans. Like it's like back in the day when high school times, man have a girlfriend, you don't even see this guy no more. Man don't even come to basketball practice. Man don't even come to nothing. Man don't come to no party. Man don't come to do nothing.
And it's like, well, what's happening? Like, it's not like you have kids if you're just married. Like, you still send a text and be like, yo, exactly. I'm still alive. What's happening?
Yeah, exactly.
Or like, me and my wife are going here, come through. But anyways.
But then that's an automatic circle, squeezer. The person squeezed out of your, like.
I think you say something different. I was like, that's not this kind of podcast. Pause. Yeah. Yo, chef, get him out of here, guys.
Any last words on this thing?
Yo, I'm just gonna say something quick with the whole clique. Like
this guy's rhyming, eh?
I work with a bunch of young people at my work. Like I'm literally like the third oldest person at work, and there's enough of them. They're like in their early 20s, and they want me to go out with them. And honestly, there's some nights I'm like, okay, like, maybe I'll go out to the bar. Nah. I can't do it. Like,
you come to your senses.
It's not even that. It's just I see how they go on and what they do, and I'm telling you, I'm not gonna put any names out there. But coke is on the rise right now. Cocaine is on the rise, and I can't deal with these people. Really, like I'm not gonna affiliate. I'm not here to judge you. Go do your thing. I don't care, but I am not part of that. And if I see that, I would instantly leave. Like, even if I have to walk home, I will walk home.
So you must want to protect your relationship with these people.
Yeah, it's that too. Like I'm
that's interesting. Actually,
I'm above that age now.
So you would have went. You would have went before. If you're 25, you would have went.
most likely, but to be honest, if I seen cocaine, I
sure.
I would definitely leave. Like
I think West Indians feel that way. I don't know how many West Indians are doing coke at these times. But when you see mans with hard drugs, you're like, nah.
Yeah, man, I don't want part of that.
That's the funny thing. Like, coke is trying to be considered as like a recreational.
Yeah,
it's
for
bad.
sure.
It's bad with the young folks. I know what Chef's talking about. It's bad when you see that. It's just a different vibe, and it's like, well, yo, what happened to just beating a juice? You know what I mean?
Yeah, trust me.
Like literally, just alcohol. Have a drink and be chill.
But
Why
that's
do you have to do
interesting.
all
It's
this
like
stuff?
you don't want to do that because you don't want to like ruin what maybe at least the friendships or whatever workplace friendships that you have, because you'll probably have a different feeling about these guys if you do go out.
Like I said, I'm not here to judge you. If you want to go do that, that's your life.
Right.
You just don't want to be in the vicinity.
I don't want to be in the vicinity, and like, these kids are wild sometimes. And and I even think back to myself when I was that young. I'm like, I never did some of this shit. Like some of these things I'm hearing that these guys are doing. I'm like, nah.
But imagine if that's their common ground, and like, if there's 6 of them and 4 guys get cleaned up and they don't do it anymore, you wonder will those guys be friends? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, there's a lot of groups where they lose touch because they get past that party stage, and once they realize that they're not under the influence of alcohol in a bar, it's like, what are you talking about when you sit down in your basement?
Yeah, sure.
Like, you got nothing to talk about, right?
I remember Snoop Dogg one time said how, like, I remember famously he had quit smoking for like, I don't know if it was like a week, 2 weeks, or a month or something like that. And like he was doing an interview and he was like, within that time he found out like who his real friends were, because like once he stopped supplying or being the one there, maybe supplying the smoke. No, but like these guys, like half his friend group was gone. Yeah, and that's how he weeded through his friends, right? And like now, like the closest I get to doing that is going through Facebook and weeding through your friend list.
Hey, well, you know what? Actually, right? One for me. This would probably be my last thing I say is, I recently moved from Toronto to Mississauga,
which is like a suburb of Toronto, right?
Yeah, Mississauga is west of Toronto. Just how Durham is east of Toronto.
Yeah. It's a different vibe than east of Toronto, though.
Well, I grew up in Durham, right? So all my friends in Durham, and people usually go out downtown Toronto. So when I had my apartment in Toronto, there's certain people who always message me and say, hey, where are we going tonight? Where are we going tonight? Because they'll come sleep in my place. They'll crash. I was convenient.
Yeah, sure.
Yo, since I've been in Mississauga,
not even check it.
Yo, that checklist has gone down, right?
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
But it allows me to see. I'm like, okay, I know who's, and yo, I'm still going out. Me and my lady, we still go out.
Right.
And I tell them, like, hey, we're going here tonight. But because it's not convenient, all of a sudden it's like, we can't reach. I'm like, all right, no problem. It's okay. You stay there. It's fine. When I move back to Toronto, don't come call me. That's it for me. Mic drop. Boom.
All right, that's episode 5. It's episode 5? That's it, right?
Is that it?
Yeah.
All right, no, that's
you mic drop. You mic drop.
No, you can't pick up the mic.
Yo, hold on, I'm back.
Yo, mute you out, yo. Can't come back on this. Yo, if you guys again have every week we try to end this way. If you have any questions, any comments, any feelings,
or just overall feedback of the podcast, like it, dislike it, cool leisure listenings, let us know. Or if you have a topic you want to hear us talk about, let us know.
Yeah, for sure. That email is acomingofage.thepodcast@gmail.com.
Oh, you got it right on the first time. These guys are reading his screen hard.
I saw it in my mind. No. And again, up to this point, IG's not set up yet, Twitter's not set up yet, but it's gonna come.
Well, hey, no, these might be post releases, so it might be set up by then.
Yeah, but I'm not post editing this. I'm not coming back. Should I? We'll see.
Yo, Mike's job guy.
Mike's dropped. Yeah. So, anyways, stay tuned for episode 6.
Yo, hold on. Yo, Wong, thanks for joining us.
Oh,
man.
Yeah.
This is 2 episodes back to back. He joined us. Come on, what do you
same
mean?
Night.
Give him some love.
Thanks for having me.
And that's it. We'll catch you all down the road.
Yes, sir.
Chucky.